Hi, this is Rod Delo, Chief Operating Officer with Straight Talk CPAs, and this is Straight Talk for Small Businesses. Today we have a special guest, our CEO, Salim Omar. Salim is a highly credentialed CPA, master's degree. Been an entrepreneur, started his own CPA firm over 25 years ago, and during that time has helped more clients than I can count. He's also the author of 4 books and has been published in many publications, including Forbes and other magazines. I'd like to thank Salim for taking the time to join us today. Hello, Salim.
Oh, yeah. Hello. My pleasure. Pleasure to be here.
Salim, can you give us a little of your backstory?
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, you shared a little bit of it, but I'll share the stuff that most people may not know about me. I was born and raised in Africa, Kenya, and lived there the first 20 years of my life. And then the next 3 decades, I've been in America. What brought me here was education, college education. So I went the traditional route of going to college and then starting corporate life, worked as a CFO in a small investment boutique firm in New York City. And after doing several years of that, I was like, man, there's got to be more to this than commuting for 3 hours every day and then going through the corporate politics and so forth. And I come from an entrepreneurial family. I was like, it would be great to start my own accounting practice and use my education to really, work with small businesses and that. And it was a very interesting journey, Rod. When I started my practice, and in those first 5 or 6 years, things did not go well for me. I was always behind on trying to get work done. Cash flow was always tight. I had a hard time keeping employees. I wasn't working with the right clients, so we weren't really providing them with amazing service. And I was working long and crazy hours. And after like 5 or 6 years of that, I was telling myself, I mean, there's got to be a better way. And that question led for me to start looking for entrepreneurs that had paved the path before me, that had faced the problems and had solved them. And I started studying them. And it was one after another, just like prolifically reading books, attending seminars, hiring mentors, and so forth. And that really led the insights, the knowledge that came from that allowed me to transform my practice, and then really enabled us as a firm to, for us to share these ideas with our small business owner clients, because many of them were facing similar challenges. And when we started having conversations with our clients that went beyond these are the financial statements and this is your tax return, instead of how can we help you grow your business, or what are your challenges, what's keeping you up at night, those conversations enabled us to then really make a difference for our clients. And so that's a very long-winded story, a backstory that you asked me for. But that's kind of what brings me to this day.
Well, I mean, it's a successful journey. I mean, you've put a lot of work into it, and your passion really comes through when you speak about it. Now, you've recently rebranded Straight Talk CPAs. Why did you decide to do that?
Yeah, great question. Every business, I believe, needs to rebrand. I mean, businesses need to rebrand every 7 years. This was, advice given to me by somebody who had been in business for many years, very successful. And he says, Salim, if business is not reinventing itself every 7 years, it's becoming irrelevant, simply because the marketplace is changing so rapidly. And this time period of 7 years is getting shorter and shorter. And so every business is, before the marketplace tells us that we are extinct or we're no longer needed, I think the business, really needs to reflect on itself and look inward and say, all right, where how do we play this game in a bigger way, in a better way? And so I guess it was more of that awareness that if things don't change internally, we'll just not be needed. And that's a business that's not growing. That's a business that's going to stagnate. That's a declining business, and I don't want to be associated with a declining business as a CEO of this business.
Okay. Well, what resources did you tap into to come up with the ideas for rebranding? How did you find your direction?
Yeah, so I mean, clients, having conversations with clients and what they say to me directly or indirectly, that plays a big part into it. Just direct communication and feedback coming from clients is a lot of intelligence or insights that comes from that. So I'd say that's primary. Secondarily would be team members, the team that's on the front line that's having these conversations with clients and what they're, sharing during team meetings. That plays a lot. What are clients wanting? What are their needs? What are the desires? Like all that plays into this process of rebranding. And then watching the marketplace, reading, listening, hearing other entrepreneurs that are in different stages of their business, being part of a coaching group, a mastermind group, like all that together plays a part in becoming clear, or at least understanding what is it, how do we need to be, how does Straight Talk need to be to serve its clients and to serve its team members in a better way.
Wow. You put a deep effort into that. And have the trust that you have with your clients to ask them, where do we need to be, or what do you see we need to do for you? So that shows the relationship you have. So that's
a tough question. That's a tough question because sometimes as professionals, we are trying to be the experts and we are trying to be, we've got all the answers. But whoever's listening to this, I'll tell you very upfront, is I don't have all the answers. We find answers, but this is a constant, continual search for us to do things in a better way, to give better advice, to know what's working, what's not, and so forth. So Rod, asking those questions, I have to remind myself to ask them more and more, and to ask our team members those questions more and more, because sometimes you don't know what's going to come in. There's a level of like fear, like, I don't know where this conversation is going to go, but that's kind of where many times we need to go, because that's where the real stuff is, beneath the surface. And if you remember, this was a conversation that came up in last week's huddle, is when I told the team members is we got to have, we want to have more and more conversations that are going below the surface, because that's where the real meat is.
Well, we've come up with a new brand. Tell us about the new brand and what is it for?
So there are three pieces or three elements of the brand. We call it the Straight Talk Trifecta. The name of the company, the firm is Straight Talk. So it's the Straight Talk Trifecta, three things. Number one is real-time financial data, harnessing the power of technology so that the business owner has complete visibility with real data, not with gut feelings. Gut feelings are important, but let's get the real data and then start using gut feelings together with this real data. And that's a very powerful combination there. So as we started having conversations with clients, and the insights that were coming from them is clients want to spend the least amount of time behind the desk doing accounting work. So we want to help them streamline the accounting process. We want to help them automate their back-end processes as much as we can. And with today's technology, that is possible. So Straight Talk is going to become a more of an important player, an important partner with our clients in helping them systematize, automate their back-end accounting processes, and to for us to get very timely, accurate financial data that we can create a financial dashboard. So the business owner, the entrepreneur, has like 5 key performance indicators, and that's about the extent of time they need to spend to get full visibility on how the business has done in the past month, in the past quarter, in the past year, and so forth. So first one's real-time financial data. We want to really become an important partner with our clients in helping them do that. Second piece is forward-looking advice. The financial data usually tells us a story. There's something happening or something not happening in the business that's getting in the way of success. So we want to use this data, and we want to have a conversation with our clients, what it means, how is it going to affect them going in the future. We want to give them actionable, growth-oriented advice based on expert analysis of this financial data. So number 2 is forward-looking advice. We're going to look at historical data, looking back what has transpired, but it's not enough in itself. We want to use this data to have a conversation about the future. What does this mean for this business this next month, this next quarter, the next year, the next 3 years, and so forth. So number 2 is forward-looking advice. And then number 3 is total client focus. And there are 2 elements when it comes to total client focus. One's customer service, which is reactive in nature, but customer service is really providing our clients with 5-star customer service. When they need something, they get it. It's a tax return, a financial statement, a question answer. They're stuck somewhere. They're looking to make a purchase. They don't need to wait for days. They only, they would get advice within the day. So that's what customer service is about. Phone calls, emails answered within a day, and so forth. Because these are all things that are irritants for a client, for a business owner, right? And it gets in their way of moving forward with what they need to do, because it takes headspace. Somebody doesn't return a phone call, it's like it's taking headspace. Why did I not get my phone call, and so forth? So as a firm, we want to be top-notch with customer service. And then customer experience is how clients perceive their interaction with Straight Talk CPAs, right? And so customer service is customer experience is about thinking ahead of what's going to make the client's business more successful. It's thinking forward beyond the today and saying, all right, what is this client going to need? What can we do to make them more successful? What do we do to make their life more easier? What do we need to do to make their entrepreneurial journey more enjoyable, and so forth? So that's customer experience. So it's more taking a longer term approach to things and being strategic about, it's being very forward looking. So that's under total client focus. 2 things: customer service. We want to be the Ritz-Carlton in customer service, and we want to provide an amazing client experience to our clients. And by the way, client experience is more proactive. And so we want to really, as much as possible, focus there in being proactive and really look ahead and see what problems could come and solve those problems before they become problems.
And if you can take that crystal ball, that's where you give the true value to a client. It isn't just, how do you wrap the changes in the world, the changes in the economy, the changes in business? How do you stay up on that to be able to give clients that proactive service?
Yeah, from an advice standpoint, it's really, I believe, staying tuned in with entrepreneurs that are successful, that are getting breakthroughs, that are running their organizations in better ways, or they've got something, the way they're doing something, and they're willing to share that. I get a lot of inspiration from that. Even sometimes it's reading their emails or watching a webinar, watching a YouTube video. That really inspires a lot of new ideas. And then it's really the team. I mean, when there's a new idea, it's that, it's the interaction with the team has with the new idea, because that's, an idea comes into the team and there's a discussion, and it's 1 + 1 becomes 11, right? And so, that's kind of how reinvention takes place, and then it's implementation of that.
Okay. Well, I mean, you've worked up this new brand. Who is this brand meant for?
Yeah, great question. It's ideal for, entrepreneurial businesses, growth-minded businesses, businesses that want to grow, that are not, who challenge the status quo. They're not okay with being, with where they are, always things being the way they are. They're always looking for that growth, and that's what Straight Talk brings. It drives businesses like that. It's we create that environment. That's our culture. That's my DNA as a CEO. That's the energy, the passion that I bring. I've got a very strong belief that small businesses, they are the economy. Like 90% of any local economy is small business. And so I'm really looking, want to help small businesses become successful, because they'll just impact the economy. They'll hire people, they'll spend more money, they'll invest in the local economy, and everyone does well when an entrepreneur does well. And so for Straight Talk, we want to be the biggest advocates for entrepreneurial businesses that want to grow, as opposed to a business that's like, yeah, I'm just looking for somebody who can just crank out a tax return and financial statements, and I don't need too much, I don't want to really communicate, and I'm fine the way I am. It's usually those are not, the best fit for us. We want people that are like, they want to be the movers and shakers. They want to go places. And then Straight Talk, teaming up with a company, a firm like Straight Talk, that can be a pretty powerful partnership.
Outstanding. Any final words of wisdom?
Final words of wisdom. I appreciate you taking the time and interviewing me on this stuff. This is brand new stuff, the rebrand. I mean, we just kind of, getting it in place on our website, and just as from a team standpoint, even really learning and getting it figured out of delivering this to our clients in the best way possible. Really excited about the future. The last couple of years have been challenging with the pandemic, everything that's gone on. It's been a lot of survival. We work with so many businesses, and we've seen, the toll it's taken this past 2 years. But every time when there is such an event as that, there's opportunities that follow it. And they've never been, I've been in business for 25 plus years, and I've never seen the opportunities that small business owners have with a lot of capital, small business owners that want to succeed. There's a lot of, people that have went out of business. So it's lesser of us, the people that are really going to now take things, learn from their experiences, want to create a stronger business with the right amounts of cash and diversification and so forth, because those are the lessons of the pandemic. And if we kind of look forward with these opportunities, in this type of a climate where there's a lot of capital, there's a lot of opportunities, and for businesses that are open to growth and to test new ideas, different ways of doing things, that get very in tune with their customers and clients, I think there's lots of opportunities there. So as a CEO of Straight Talk CPAs, I'm super excited about the opportunities in the future.
Oh, that's fantastic. I really enjoyed talking to you today. I learned a lot about the brand. I mean, I'm in part of this, and I still learn. I've learned things today. I think if a business wants to reach out, how do we contact you or find Straight Talk?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think the website's the best place, straighttalkcpas.com, and there's a contact us page there. So the phone number email address and so forth. Schedule, usually, I mean, the best start there in having a conversation is really having an introductory call with one of our team members, just to see if there's, if it's the right fit. It's an introductory call. So that's usually a good start there. Yeah.
Okay. I really appreciate taking the time today, Salim, and look forward to the next time we're going to get together.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.